Hey guys, welcome back to Mediocre Arts and Crafts. Today on Try It Tuesday, I'm going to use one of the Creative Expressions stencils. This is from the Mandala Masks line, and this is called Petal Loops. So I'm getting out my trusty laminated piece of paper here, and I am just kind of looking at the stencil, and I'm going to go ahead and tape down my card base. This Try It Tuesday video is a little different from my last one. I am, instead of using black cardstock, using white cardstock, and I'm going to do it direct to the card base. So I'm not going to be mounting this on another piece of paper. I'm going to give that a shot. So I just add some tape upside down to the back of the card base and tape down the corner of the card base and the stencil kind of separately. So I have it adhered to like 3 different locations. Now I am changing out my, so I go ahead and change out my sponges. I have, I think, 4 or 5 of these little tool handles. And usually, you know, I've only done a minimal amount of ink blending in my life, but I try to make it easy by having one blender for each color. The key, I think, is remembering what blender sponge goes with what color. I am using Distress Oxides today. I am starting with Sponge Sugar in the middle. This is lighter. I wasn't sure if it's just naturally a lighter color or if I didn't have enough on the brush or the sponge, but I went over that a couple of times. Of course, I talked about in the last video needing to start off of the page when doing ink blending, but on the stencil, that's a little less important because the stencil will kind of guard you from getting obvious start lines. So now I go ahead and grab the broken china. This is a really pretty blue color, and add that to the next section of the stencil. I did have a little bit of a hard time here, just kind of holding the stencil down. Definitely could have added more tape somewhere, like across the middle, but I didn't. So just kind of give it a good go here and do my best. Then I go ahead and grab Seedless Preserves, which is an amazing color. And here you'll see I am mainly inking the area that is not under the stencil. And so I try to remember to start off of the page, but of course you'll see that I don't some of the time. And then I get so excited that I forget to kind of hold down the stencil, and so I kind of have to line it back up. So that takes me a minute. And then I just go ahead and blend through the rest of the paper once I get this lined up. You can already see that there's some blotchy parts of that purple ink that, I don't know, might be unsightly to some, but I just go with it and kind of blend out or attempt to blend out some of that and make it, as even and as smooth as possible. So here I notice how much darker the seedless preserves is than the broken china or the spun sugar. So I go back and I put a little bit of color. Of course here, though, I start getting purple ink on my blue blender sponge. So I stopped that and just go in and put a little bit more of the spun sugar in. And you can really see the kind of splotchiness of the seedless preserves in the video more than I noticed it in real life. So now I just pull off the stencil, trying not to get random ink everywhere. In here I noticed that the little corner is a little light, so I think it's a good idea at this point to go back and add some color to the corner, but then I'm not super smart about it, and I just end up doinking the corner a little bit. But I just kind of try to put it back in place and put my head in the camera. Here I'm using a piece of cardstock and I give it a thumbs down. But I still am going to see this through. So I clean up a little bit of my area and break out a couple of these die cuts that I had on hand. These were already in a little container and on the side or in my craft room. So I bring these out and try to kind of decide which one I'm going to use, not realizing that the camera is not super focused. But here I have a large high. I think I went with this one because I decided that it still shows a lot of the blending, but it kind of covers up a lot of what, I didn't really love. So I'm not really sure what I expected, but in the end of the day, I think that this is a great card and I will send it out to somebody. I really like these colors together. Thanks for watching my video today. Please give it a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Have a great day.